What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former WBA Junior Welterweight World Champion Regis Prograis is in the midst of a separation from his longtime promoter, Lou DIBELLA, and there is a lot of rumblings and reports that Regis Prograis is indeed going to sign with the PBC. The PBC is the front runner to sign Regis Prograis once the separation is finalized between himself and Lou DIBELLA. With that said, there's reports that it could possibly be a possible future showdown in the works between Regis Prograis and fourth division world champion, former world champion, you got it, Adrien "The Problem" Broner. We know Regis Prograis and Adrien "The Problem" Broner have been going back and forth for quite some time. They've been joining back and forth via social media and teasing the fans of a possible future showdown. As of late, Regis Prograis said, somebody give Adrien Broner the $10 million that he's asking for so I could close the show for this guy for good. So I could go ahead and knock out Adrien "The Problem" Broner and close the show and the chapter on his career for good. Obviously, Adrien Broner said, man, he'll wash Regis Prograis, so on and so forth, etc. They've been going back and forth. This is a huge fight. Should Regis Prograis get past his future upcoming opponent, and Adrien Broner has recently announced that he could possibly face Ivan Redcash in his next fight. Right? So Adrien Broner will have to get past Ivan Redcash, and who knows who Regis Prograis is going to fight. We know straight away Regis Prograis more than likely is not going to fight Adrien "The Problem" Broner straight away as soon as he signed a contract with the PBC. They're going to want to allow Regis Prograis to get his feet wet and then get in there with Adrien Broner, right, to set up a future mega showdown. This would be, Adrien Broner stated that he's making his way back to 140, the junior welterweight limit. Regis Prograis campaigns at 140, the junior welterweight weight limit. Regis Prograis was scheduled to face off against Maurice Hooker, prior to the pandemic and all sports, including boxing, being suspended. So that fight fell through. Maurice Hooker has now moved up to the full 147-pound welterweight limit. And Regis Prograis said that Maurice Hooker was not being professional, staying on weight and preparing himself for the fight. And just in case everything cleared up for the fight to take place, Maurice Hooker said that Regis Prograis should just go ahead and come up to 147 and they could still, face off against one another. Regis Prograis said that's not in his plans right now. He wants to stay at junior welterweight and campaign there. And like I said, Adrien Broner has been teasing and telling the fans that he's going back down to the 140-pound junior welterweight weight limit, where I think is best for Adrien Broner. He's like in a tweener, right? So he's too small for the welterweight division, but he's too big for the 135-pound division. So I think that 140 is best division for Adrien "The Problem" Broner. With that said, this would be fireworks, right? This is going to be, you're not going to lack any type of entertainment and action in the fight between Regis Prograis and Adrien "The Problem" Broner, because Regis Prograis is going to force the action, stay in the middle, force Adrien Broner to fight on the inside. And Adrien Broner, we know, loves to fight on the inside, right? Now, he could fight at bay, he could fight at distance, mid-range, from the outside, but Adrien Broner loves to mix it up on the inside, and he has a lot of speed, a lot of flash, and a lot of power, right? With that said, Regis Prograis, too, has a lot of power. Now, I give the edge to Adrien Broner in hand speed. I give the edge to Adrien Broner in quickness. But I do say that their power is probably about the same, right? If not, Adrien Broner probably has slight bit more power, right? We heard guys like Marcos Maidana say Adrien Broner was the hardest puncher he's ever faced. And Marcos Maidana has been in there with some big punches himself. So he said it was the toughest guy he's been in there with was Adrien Broner, and the hardest puncher he's been in there with was Adrien "The Problem" Broner. So this is a 50-50 fight. Adrien Broner could use a mega fight to get his career back on track. He hasn't had a victory since 2017 when he fought and beat Adrian Granados. Since then, he has, had draws and losses on his resume. So with that said, Adrien Broner fights Ivan Redcash, who just recently fought Danny Swift Garcia and lost. A unanimous 12-round decision awarded to Danny Garcia. That was at 147. Ivan Redcash is a 140-pounder, though. So Ivan Redcash said that he could campaign at 140. He's even joined back and forth with Adrien Broner, said that he's going to knock out Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner said he's going to knock out Ivan Redcash. That's a good victory for Adrien Broner to get his career back on track and get back into that dub column, that first column, the win column, and then have a future showdown with Regis Prograis would be huge. Regis Prograis himself needs to get back on track after losing to Josh Taylor. He was in a barn burner with Josh Taylor. Action-packed fight. This is why I said you will get nothing short of fireworks when Adrien Broner and Regis Prograis share the squared circle. So with that said, Regis Prograis needs a fight. Don't know who he'll fight, but he gets a fight. Gets back in the win column, gets back on track. Adrien Broner fights Ivan Redcash, get back on track, and then set up a future showdown between the two. And it's going to be the build-up for this fight is going to be huge. The promotion for this fight will be huge. And by that time, we could have clarity and have fans back, live fans at the arenas and things of that nature. So imagine a press conference between Regis Prograis and Adrien Broner. The build-up would be absolutely enormous. And like I said, we know inside the ring, you're not going to get anything short but fireworks with these two meet in the square circle. Somebody's going to get dropped. Somebody's going to get knocked out. I believe, in my opinion. It's a 50-50 fight. First thing that comes to my mind when I think about the fight is I lean towards Adrien Broner. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's hard to lean towards Adrien Broner because he just don't let his hands go. But in this type of fight with Regis Prograis, where Regis Prograis is going to force the action in the middle of the ring, and Regis Prograis is a action-packed fighter, I think that Adrien Broner is not going to have a choice but to let his hands go because of the style of fighting that Regis Prograis presents. So I absolutely cannot wait to see this. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Hopefully, obviously we have to see Regis Prograis has to settle everything with Lou DiBella and his separation. And then looks like he could sign with the PBC. That's what the reports that I'm hearing. And then I'm hearing that a future showdown between himself and Adrien Broner is in the works. So let's see how this all plays out. But I'm expecting somebody to get dropped in the fight and possibly get knocked out. And I think there's going to be some injuries, maybe a cut or two. It's going to be action-packed, to say the least. And I can't wait. And this is a fight both guys need to get back on track. A win over Regis Prograis for Adrien Broner and Ivan Redcash is huge for Adrien Broner. And the win for Regis Prograis over Adrien Broner, and I don't know who he'll fight first, would be huge for Regis Prograis. So let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.